Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz, and welcome to episode 5 in our campaign game with the Hunters, GMT Games U-Boat simulation where you get to command a U-Boat from 1939 until hopefully 1943. Our last run, our 4th patrol, was a milk run, and Lady Luck has pretty much shined on our career so far. But are things about to change? The Allies are going to start to get sharper in terms of defense, and we still haven't sunk a lot of tonnage. We've got a lot of work left to do. Let's jump into our June 1940 patrol. Let's do a quick summary before we start up. So far we've had 4 patrols. We've gone out in September 1939, December 1939, February and April of 1940. 4 patrols with 5 ships sunk, and as well as 2 successful mine-laying missions. Our second watch officer, Commander Ray, has now reached the expert level of ability. And, starting our most dangerous patrol was our first one, where we both got attacked by an aircraft and depth charged by an escort. Since then, it's been relatively suspense-free, at least in terms of the defensive side. We've had a lot of empty zones, too, so it's been a relatively calm existence, I think, for U-86 so far. But if there's one thing that people have mentioned in the comments, and one thing that I sense from playing the game, is that this game can change on a dime. You go from, wow, nothing's happening, to, oh my god, we're gonna die in just about any moment. So we'll see how this progresses. One last thing that I wanted to mention before we start on our patrol here is that these mats, the U-Boat mats, are custom-made fan mats by Michael B. And just give him a shout out for his excellent work. These have a little bit more visual appeal, have a lot more visual appeal actually, I think, than the ones that originally came with the game. So I've really enjoyed using them, and I put a link down in the description to where you can download them on Wargame Geek. And there's a mat for each different subtype in the game. So kudos to him for his fine work, and thanks for giving us access to these. These are great. Let's jump in now and see where we'll be patrolling for patrol number 5. So as we start out, once again, if we roll a 1, we get to choose our patrol zone. We get a 6, which is, nope, we're definitely getting our patrol assigned to us. So let's roll now and see where we are going to be patrolling. This will be our last patrol in this April to June box, so it'll be shifting again. And that's one of the neat things about the game, is that over time things get progressively harder for the U-boats, for sure. But then your patrol zones change. You get a sense kind of for the evolution of the war and the evolution of the Allied response to the U-boats, which is kind of cool. This will also be our last patrol that leaves from Germany. This is now, as we are in June 1940, they're simulating a successful invasion of France. From now on, we'll be leaving from the port of France, unless we happen to get reassigned someplace else, which will mean that our transit will be on the Bay of Biscay, which is going to be a little bit more difficult. But let's see where our patrol goes here. I'd love to get back to the British Isles. Let's see what we get. A 7. Up. My wish has been granted. Off we go to the British Isles. So let's get this patrol underway. Alright, so our U-boat heads out of its U-boat, U-86 heads out of its U-boat pen and heads into the English Channel. We'll roll for an aircraft encounter, hoping for a big number here. Get a 9, so we slip through the English Channel undetected. We head out into the Atlantic. Still in our transit zone, we need to roll once more to avoid Allied aircraft. 7, yep, no problems. Okay, here we go, into the British Isles zone, and let's start hunting. So I think in our first, all our patrols, I think the sole place where we've run into enemy shipping has been up in this last zone. I'm hoping it'd be nice to get one where we get 2 opportunities to attack. Let's see what we get here as we search for enemy shipping in our first patrol zone. An 8, once again, oh, British, yes, nice. Luck is with us. We encounter a ship in our first zone. Very good, let's set this up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to roll to see whether it's daytime or nighttime. On a 1, 2, or 3, it is daytime. We get a 1, so it is daytime. Now we have to roll to see what size ship we get. 1, 2, or 3 is a small freighter, hoping for a 6 for a nice big fat tanker. Get a 2, small freighter. So let's pull that out onto the map here. Probably going to be in that range. Now we need to roll to identify the ship. Let's see what we've got here. Small freighter roster. Black is first. 98. 2,300-ton Sea Venture is our target today. So let's get the daytime thing here. We're going to come in. I have to just going to check a couple things. We're going to make our decisions on our attack here. As always, with the daytime attack, with the unescorted attacks, we can cycle through all our ammunition. It seems to make the most sense to me to start with our deck guns. So we're going to come in at close range during the daytime on the surface as it doesn't seem to really matter in terms of an unescorted ship. We just get some free shots here. Firing with our deck guns, we need an 8 or less at close range to hit, hoping 2 hits would sink it. We got an 8? Oh, just catch it on the first one. Second shot fires. 3. Most excellent. We can roll for damage. The deck gun by and large does 1, but it only takes 2 direct hits here to sink it. So 3 and a 3. Each one hits for 1 damage. That's 2 damage on the Sea Venture. We send it to the bottom. Very successful first patrol zone for U-86. As the Sea Venture goes to the bottom, let's continue our patrol. Alright, so U-86, after a successful first patrol zone, heads off into its next one. Let's see what we get here. 7. Nothing. I was hoping we would get a spectacularly lucky patrol and have 4 zones with enemies shipping in it. But let's see what we get in our third zone. Let's get at least 1 mission here with 2. 9 is nothing. Oh, bugger. But we're in our lucky zone now. Let's see what we get up here. Rolling on. Let's get another 8 or something. A capital ship with a 2 would be pretty cool too. A 12. Oh, aha. Wait. So the first natural 12 you roll during a patrol results in a random event. Ignore the encounter result and roll for the random event. So let's set this up. All right, so let's see what we get here. Some of these look rather bad. Some of them really won't mean anything depending upon the condition of our U-boat. And some of them could be good luck. Like a 7 here is a neck and leg break, meaning good luck. So you get this, you can re-roll any single dice roll. So that would be a nice one to get. Hoping for a 7. That looks actually kind of like one of the best ones here. Let's see what we get. Yes! 7! So here's the event here. That's twice this mission. I called it. That's good. Hals in Beinbruch. Literal meaning neck and leg break. This is slang for good luck. The player may re-roll any single die or dice roll. The good luck can carry forward to future patrols, and more than one may be accumulated through the course of your career. Place the Hals and Beinbruch marker on your U-boat display mat in the random event box. So here is the marker that will drop onto our U-boat box as we get there. Most excellent! We had a good luck event, but the patrol isn't done yet. Let's now shift into the transit zone and head home. So I think we can go... actually, I just want to check one quick thing before we do that. Alrighty, let's continue on now. I just wanted to see whether the random event means we needed to re-patrol this zone or not, but it looks like you don't have to do that. That lucky horseshoe, we'll talk about that, because I think that could be huge. I mean, basically, I think we would want to save it until we need to avert death, right? So, but let's get into the transit zone here. We're hoping that we do not have any aircraft encounters and we can get home safely. We get a 7 for the first one. We pass through quietly and safely. To the east of Scotland we go. Let's roll for our next transit zone here. We get a 9, and we slide back into our harbor once again. Gosh, what a relatively quiet patrol. The good luck charm is big. I think that's huge. But let's refit here and rearm and talk about what happens next. Alrighty, as we're in the U-boat pen here, let's refit and rearm. Someone mentioned that it takes a month to just put some ammo back into the deck gun there, but I think it also means that our crew has to kind of rest and get some rehab and stuff like that, and some recreation and things too. So I'm assuming that that's what's going on during this month, that we have to refit our U-boat just by kind of reloading the deck gun. Again, a second consecutive patrol where we fired no torpedoes here. But of more significance probably is this horseshoe, this good luck horseshoe. And you can accumulate more than one of these as well. And it basically means that we can re-roll any die roll in the game. My thought, let me know what your thoughts are on this, but I'm thinking, in many ways this game feels like kind of a rogue game that you play on the PC, where you're going to run into situations where there's like a 2% chance of death, right? Those are going to come up. And you think, well, there's no big deal, that's not going to happen. But over the course of the game, you probably roll those 50 to 100 times, and that means that eventually you're going to die. It's more than likely you're going to sink and you're not going to make it. And that there's places in this game where I really feel like that's what's going to happen, that the U-boat's going to get sunk and it's going to be game over. And I'm thinking that for those dire circumstances, that's what we want to save this horseshoe for. And it does make me also think, thinking through these first 5 missions, we've been very fortunate so far. The first mission has had an attack by the Allies on our U-boat, and that was both by aircraft and by depth charges. Other than that, these have been 4 consecutive milk runs. And I'm reading a book called The Six Frigates now by Ian Toll, and it's about the First Barbary War. It kind of comes from playing that Shores of Tripoli game that we played before. And it was talking about the Philadelphia, which ran aground outside of Tripoli, and the crew was captured, and they just had, it was just a mess. It was a horrible time. They got tortured, and it was an awful experience. And the Philadelphia, by and large, as they were talking about, had a number of experiences before that where the crew really felt like the ship was just an unlucky ship. And it made me think about, U-boats too, because I think that whole idea, if we can be a lucky boat in this game, I think we've got a better chance of making it through. So maybe it's better just to be lucky than good. And of course, a lot of this too, as we can see as we're playing this out, this is a narrative-driven game. There's not a huge amount of agency in terms of what you're doing as the player. Sometimes you feel like you're along for the ride. And of course, you've got decisions on where to attack and some big decisions to make. So I'm not saying that's the only thing. But, a lot of it really is kind of roll and see what happens and kind of watch the story of this U-boat unfold. So far, U-boat 86, I would have to toss into the lucky category of U-boats. But that will change. Now, as we go forward now in our next patrol, so July 1940, we will refit. August 1940, we will be out into the Bay of Biscay, so our U-boat pen will move to France. And the war kind of evolves a little bit more, and as we can see here on our patrol assignments, the Atlantic comes into play. So we're going to have on die rolls of a 6 or a 9 or an 11 or 12, our assignment will be to the Atlantic. And the reason I mention that is because if we look at the Atlantic encounter chart, it's very different than the British Isles. Very small chance that you're going to run into unescorted ships. Instead, what we get here are convoys. Convoys are going to be multiple targets, so 4 targets, and always escorts. And escorts could either be paying attention to you or not paying attention to you. So the combat in terms of the game is going to evolve quite a bit now that we're into the summer of 1940. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how all that plays out. But let's kind of summarize our patrol here. So patrol number 5 gives us 2,300 tons of tonnage sunk, which gives us a total now of 6 ships sunk in 7 and 5 patrols. That's kind of a tongue twister. A total tonnage now for us is 27,600 tons, and that is our 5th successful mission out of 5 attempts. Now, if we do succeed in our next mission, that will be our 6th, another 3 successful missions. That means we will have a crew advancement or some kind of promotion for some kind of expertise leveling up of our officers. So Ray and McLeod and Mahler and our Dr. David could once again see them level up. I don't know what happens to Dr. Ray if he is, to Second Watch Officer Ray, if he levels up again. It might be that you ignore it, but we'll see. Or it could just be a general crew advancement. And we're getting very, very close to 1 year of service, which means that as the commandant or the commander of the U-boat, we have a chance to level up, to rank up, to get a promotion there, which would give us some other benefits as well. So lots of things kind of to look forward to as this patrol evolves. I'm still waiting for the other foot to drop. I mean, if we hit a convoy, we're going to have to escape detection. So it's going to get harder once we start hitting convoys. So just by nature, I think, of how the game evolves, we're going to see more attacks on the U-boat going forward. I mean, there's no other way around it. But anyway, that brings us to the end of this mission. If you've enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as that helps the channel grow so much. And if you are new, please consider subscribing. We will be playing this campaign until the end. So we'll see you in our next episode. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye.